don't see no fans, all I see is a bunch of complainers. Kendrick's album was cool, but it didn't have any bangers. Wayne's album and Ye's couldn't tell you which one was lamer.
Eminem dropped a new album recently, and I don't know if I'm going to react to the whole thing, but I wanted to try to react to a few of his songs. I just don't know how much, and wanted to start with Renaissance. I thought of the...
With balls in his do-rag, he sags, fearing no man. He stands pen in his hand like Edward Scissorhands. Who slices competition and just goes about his business. Anyone who knows about it knows about his shindig.
Already? Oh my gosh, I like that so much. I know it's just the beginning, but I like the Edward Scissorhands reference because it kind of makes you feel nostalgic because it's such an old reference. But also listening to Eminem is kind of nostalgic in itself because it just sounds like his old self already. The beat and how he's rapping the rhythm, it just immediately feels nostalgic and kind of old.
Anyone who knows about his shindig, shenanigans, and all his wacky antics in the papers. Shady's dangling, a baby tangled in a blanket, strangling him, hanging him over the railing by the ankles on some gangster shit. Child endangerment, dark brain arcane, but it marked.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. And I love that he also rhymed child endangerment. It's such a long child endangerment. 6 syllables. I'm not sure if it's how he's rhyming or if his voice sounds a little bit different. It kind of almost sounds like different to me than his more recent stuff, but I could just be overthinking it. It's so good. Even if the syllables are a little bit shorter because it's Taman and then it, so it's like 3 names in it. There's so many. There's such a plethora of all of these rhyme schemes that it's acceptable that they're only like 3. 3's still impressive, and he's throwing, it feels like 18 of them out there.
You wanna know how I do it? I can't explain the shit. Mechanics brain with a pinch of Big Daddy Kane in it, but I can show you the ropes till you get the hang of it. Elephantitis to the nuts element of intelligent hoodlum, arrested development. Cellar dwellers and wise intelligence and elements.
What? I love the line intelligent hoodlum, arrested development. Especially how he says it, not how I repeat it. But intelligent hoodlum is pretty self-explanatory, I guess. He's talking about himself. He grew up in maybe a not great environment, the hood, or just not great school, wherever. But he himself is intelligent, street smarts, or he's just good. He's intelligent. Arrested development kind of makes me think 2 different things, but one of them is that his development was almost kind of just stopped early because it was arrested. So he was not stumped, but stunted, I suppose. I think also because whenever you hear arrested development, it doesn't make you think of the typical arrested, but because he had just said hoodlum right before that word, it makes you think of the other way arrested by itself would be used. Like if you're arresting someone and being taken to jail. But then arrested development being stunted like early. I can show you the ropes until you get the hang of it. I mean, duh, because you can hang from a rope. So it's literal. It's just clever. It sounds really good together. He's making an actual point and statement that's clever. And on top of it, it's because it's a rope and you can hang from it. So I just appreciate it.
Cellar dwellers and wise intelligence and elementary through hell I went, accelerant from lack of melanin, failing in school, smart eloquent, help me to rebel against shit so well invent, so eloquently, yeah, I was irrelevant. Soon as I quit giving the fuck, I started a celibate.
I really like the accelerate from lack of melanin line because it takes you back to kind of what he used to rap about in his old music and even 8 Mile vibes, because he used to speak a lot about how people would accuse him or point out that he would kind of just ride the train of black music and profit off of it. But he also kind of points out by saying, well, I got a lot of flack for having a lack of melanin, so I had to deal with more in certain ways, or had a lot more people not believe in me or tear me down, whatever, because I was white. But then he also points out, yeah, and I also accelerated in a lot of ways and got as famous as I probably did and more attention than I would have because I'm white. And those 2 things are saying opposite things, and they're both true. Some things might have held him back, and he had a little bit harder fighting up and getting attention and people like taking him seriously. in maybe a certain crowd, but then also he's aware of, yeah, well, people might have listened to me more because I'm white. So I accelerated and did better than maybe I even, not like deserve, because I know he thinks that he deserves it, but in some ways he acknowledges that both of those things can be real at the same time.
So eloquently, yeah, I was irrelevant. Soon as I quit giving the fuck, I started a celibate. Now there's travel inside the mind of a hater, cause I don't see no fans, all I see is a bunch of complainers. Kendrick's album was cool, but it didn't have any bangers. Wayne's album and Ye's couldn't tell you which one was lamer. Joyner's album was corny, Shady's new shit is way worse. Everything is either too tame, it is too much anger.
I like that he points that out, because if anything, he's kind of just calling out fans in a way, or people who are specifically haters of artists and not their fans, because they're pointing out, okay, well, if you go to an artist who doesn't do a specific thing, just to point out that they don't do that specific thing, and you know they don't, and you're going to say their entire album is bad because they don't have that thing, well, then you can't be pleased. Like, you can't please fans. They'll go to anybody and complain about that one thing that, of course, someone's going to be missing, because they cover the bases of everything else. Oh, except for that one thing, so actually they suck. Oh, well, he doesn't have any bangers. And it's like, well, you go to him for maybe the spirituality of it, or this other thing, or the music, and then you complain that it's missing the thing that you shouldn't be listening to that artist for. Same with him. If it's for lyricism, well, then why are you complaining that it's not deep enough in this regard? Or you're going to go to Tupac and complain that he's not lyrical, he's only passionate, like he's too passionate. Like, there's just always something that you can complain about with each artist. So I do like that he's pointing that out as well.
Joyner's album was corny, Shady's new shit is way worse. Everything is either too tame, it is too much anger. I didn't like the beat, so I hated, might delete later. You nerdy freaks would find something wrong with 36 chambers. It's what they do to the great. Pick apart a Picasso and make excuses to hate, so you can wait for your flowers until you're blue in the face. Stupid, you ain't gonna get them until your funeral wake.
That was so good, and I love that it was short and sweet, because he just made his point and then left. I like that he made it you're just gonna go and pick apart a Picasso until it's like something else. Well, then just don't appreciate that artwork. You're looking for something that's not there. So I guess that ties into why it's called Renaissance, because it's kind of a rebirth of music, possibly. That was around the time where a lot of art changed for people, and it was I mean, the Renaissance, like, it was kind of dark before then, and then all of this new art and new styles came out at that time, and so people around also just kind of got happier and had new avenues to turn to, new art to appreciate. So I like that he's opening his album with calling it that, and then also telling you what he means by it really quickly. It's only it's a minute and 38 seconds. I don't know how many songs I'll be able to get through on this album. Kind of intimidated by it, but I hope that you guys enjoy this one, and if there's positive feedback and you want to see more, maybe I can put out a few of the others from the album at least throughout the week. Just be patient. I hope that's okay. But yeah, I'll see how many I can do and can put out. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you haven't already, make sure you check out all my other links, including my Twitch and my Patreon, and I'll see you all next time.